When it comes to jump scares, I pride myself on not falling for them. Especially nowadays, how horror movies they're to be expected because you know when they're gonna come. They're pretty cheap, so I kind of like expect and know when they're coming, and I don't fall for them. But I'm not gonna lie, this movie had me jump a few times.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Flicking Things. My name is Daniel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Black Phone. So Black Phone is basically a story I'm pretty sure you've seen in the trailers. It's based off the serial killer called The Grabber. You know, he goes around the neighborhood. This is based like in the 1970s. I think it was like 78, I believe, where, kids go missing, and the main protagonist we follow is another kid who ends up getting kidnapped. And basically what happens, there's this phone and basically where he's being held captive that keeps ringing, and every time he answers, it's a victim that the grabber killed, and they're basically helping him try to escape. So yeah, when it comes to horror films, I'm not really a big fan of them. I feel like all the horror movies nowadays are all like the same cliche. They don't really bring anything new to the table. They're not like the old classics, way back then. So when I saw the trailer for this one, it looked a little different. And then especially, with Ethan Hawke, he had like the mask and everything. It was something like, I don't know, it just felt like different. And I started to hear all the reviews coming out for it. And so yeah, I just wanted to check it out. So I was able to check it out the other day. And honestly, I had a really good time. I thought it was a really, really solid movie. It's really different than your average horror movie. It's not a slasher movie. It's not like a lot of gore. So if you're expecting that, like a lot of slashing and murder and all that stuff, you're not going to get that here. I feel like it's more about the journey with our protagonist. I keep forgetting the kid's name, but basically, it's sort of like a coming of age. In fact, the first half of the movie is actually developing our characters, which I thought was a good move and a smart choice by the director to go that route, because if you started off of the kid just getting kidnapped right away, I feel like you wouldn't care for the character. But since that you followed his journey up until the point where he gets kidnapped, you really are rooting for him, because the kid's actually like he goes through a lot of, I guess you would say, trauma throughout his his everyday life. He's getting bullied at school, at home. There's that he has like a drunken father who basically beats him and stuff. So when by the time he gets kidnapped, you're like really, really rooting for him, and that's what I really liked about the movie, especially when he was in captivity, when he was getting these phone calls and he was getting like these I guess you would say tips or whatever from all these people from the I guess the supernatural spiritual realm of the victims that are trying to talk to him and trying to help him escape. So you feel like you're at the edge of your seat. There's a lot of suspense. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not like your average horror movie. That's what I really enjoyed about it, because you actually care about the characters. And it's not like, when usually at the beginning of a horror movie, these two adults are having sex and then someone, comes in the room and starts killing them. I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that nowadays. So I would say it's like half and half suspenseful, half horror. So you get a little blend of both. So like I said, if you're looking into it, as in just straight up, blood and violence, you're not going to get that. So that's why I feel like a lot of people might be a little disappointed, especially with Ethan Hawke's character. I'll get into that a little bit with my negatives, but first I want to talk about the kids. Pretty much all the kids that are in the movie, they're really, really great, especially our protagonist Finney and his sister, which is Gwen. I thought they did a really, really good job. I mean, I really bought especially when their emotions, especially when they're crying. It just felt like really real. It didn't feel like, okay, because when it comes to kid acting, it could be hit or miss. But this one, I feel like they really, really hit the mark with this one. Ethan Hawke was great, but now I'm gonna get into my negatives. He's great, but he's not in the movie a whole lot. To be honest, I was a little disappointed with that actually, because I wanted to see more of him. But it was weird because even though he wasn't in the movie that much, I still really enjoyed it because I was so invested in the other characters, like the kid Finney and his sister and their story, where I kind of almost started to forget Ethan Hawke's oh yeah, this is this is the main villain. So like I said, it's more has to do with the coming of age and the kid, Finney trying to gain the courage to stand up for himself. So if you're expecting a lot of Ethan Hawke, you're going to be disappointed. Like I said, I was a little disappointed that he wasn't in there a whole lot, but I still enjoyed the movie. One thing I was actually surprised was the setting. It, you know, the setting was like around like I said, I think it was like 1978, I believe. I was looking at the synopsis online, and yeah, so it was based around like 1978, and it really felt like that. Like, it really felt like you were in the 70s. They did a really good job, so I was really impressed with the smaller budget, because sometimes movies, you know, be like, okay, that's present day. Like, for instance, I was watching Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull, or the Kingdom, what was it, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. They try to make it feel like it was like, you know, like in the 50s or 60s. I forgot where it was set in. I don't know, it was just weird, because it felt like it was like it was, everything was all fake. Like, it didn't fit the setting. Like, I didn't believe like I was in the 1960s or 50s, whatever it was in. But this movie, it was in the 1970s, and it felt like that. It was like, yeah, this really feels, especially like the way they shot it. I don't know, like the color grading and everything. It felt like an old movie, and I was really impressed with that. So overall, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you're into the horror, you know, the mindless killing, you're not gonna get that. You're gonna get a deeper story, with deeper characters. And another thing that you might not like is Ethan Hawke is not. He's not like in it a whole lot, but I felt like the other characters were so good, and I felt so invested into their stories, where it didn't take me out of the story or anything like that as much. Like, if you were to tell me like, oh, there's not gonna be much Ethan Hawke, I'm like, okay, then why am I gonna watch this movie? You know, I thought this whole story, because they do promote him a lot in the trailers, but after watching this movie, I'm like, oh, like it worked, like it was really good, and I just thought it was a good story. I thought it was a great, solid horror / suspenseful movie, and I think a lot of people should check it out. So I'm gonna put a rating on this. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 ghost faces. That's gonna do it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please click like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.